everyone to this new session of our content pills. Today we are going to talk about how we can use data to improve safety of the most vulnerable users, road users like cyclists and pedestrians. So first of all, I want to explain why are we doing this. In DAT Urban Mobility, we are aligned with the European Vision Zero initiative, which aims to arrive to zero fatalities by the year 2020 and 50. So to arrive to that number, we have been seeing that the number of fatalities has been decreasing in the last years, but in the last couple of years, the number of fatalities has not just stopped, but also in some areas of Europe is even increasing. Why is that? Because the mobility patterns in cities are becoming more and more complex. We are boosting public transport, micromobility, there are new personal mobility devices. That's creating a complexity that cities need to address. Because also in our mission in EAT Urban Mobility to promote public transport and promote active walking, we need to also address it in a safe way, basically. So with that in mind, last year we opened a call for proposals to look for solutions that could help cities to adapt and help with the infrastructure and understanding the infrastructure from the road design, the maintenance, and also the operation, and provide them with tools that can help the cities to make a more safer place for the most vulnerable users. And today I'm happy to present two of our winning projects from the last call. We have here Robert Lohman, from the CEO of ROADSCOR, who is also leading the ROADSCOR project, which aims to identify like the areas with the most probability to have crashes, and depending on the severity of the crashes, and change the design of certain parts of the road. Also, we have here Yvonne Arechalde, the CEO at Asimov, that he's leading the SAFELIGHT project that aims to identify the areas with low visibility and increase and maintain the road in a way that are safer for bike users. So thank you both for being here. So first of all, so the audience know what the project is about. So what the project is about and what are the benefits for the cities to use this project?
Yeah, ROADSCOR was originally software developed within Siemens, where they were looking for unknown unsafe scenarios for autonomous cars. But you can use the same software to look at the potential conflicts that you see at an intersection. So what we do with the software is we basically identify all the road users, all their possible trajectories over the intersection, and we simulate those against each other in time, defining where the conflicts are. So it gives you the ability that where normally you identify crashes by recording near misses and having a temporary camera or LiDAR installation monitoring what happens at the intersection, in this case you monitor or predict or calculate even what crashes will happen based on the conflicts that are possible at the intersection. And it gives the ability to a traffic engineer to redesign the way the intersection should look like, and then you can run another iteration and you can actually calculate the number of accidents that you will be preventing. And everything so far is beyond expectations, because we're getting very good reactions from cities and road authorities on the potential they see in the solution.
In the case of Asimov, the SAFELIGHT project is an evolution of the solution that we have that we call the Autonomous Urban Inspector. With the Autonomous Urban Inspector, we try to detect, classify and analyze all the assets in the streets in order to have the information of all these assets and the defects that they have or the problems that they have. A very typical defect is the pedestrian crosses that they are poorly painted, or the traffic signs that have not good visibility, and within that, all these factors have a big influence in the road safety in the cities, mainly for vulnerable users. When we had the feedback of the cities, they said that a very important point for them was the visibility during the night in these places, because in the pedestrian crosses in these kind of places they needed a good perception, a good visibility of the place. And that's why we decided to start this SAFELIGHT project, involving 3 cities in the project, because well, with that we have adapted this autonomous inspection in order to obtain all the visibility in the different crosses, in the different pedestrian crosses, in the different streets, in order to give to the cities the information of which are the places where they have bad visibility and the presence of one of these items, the pedestrian crosses or these kind of things, in order to solve these potential black spots that they can have there.
Sure, thank you. And now that you mentioned the cities, and I know this project just started in January, so it's not far away from here, but since you are already working with some data from the cities, maybe some of you have identified something that you didn't expect it, or you have some preliminary results that you would like to share with the audience?
The interesting part here is that we started doing the first assessment, and where we're using traffic models to look at the intersection. The very first one we did was for the province of Noord-Brabant in the Netherlands. We identified that from the traffic model, pedestrians were actually missing. And it's an intersection where you don't expect pedestrians, but there is a walking route, like a walking path that is there, but there's no crossing specifically or a traffic light specifically for pedestrians. So we redid the whole simulation to add those, and you added 65 potential conflicts just for pedestrians. So it is essential to know what data you have and what data you're lacking. And the interesting part is that for the other city that we're assessing, which is an intersection in Rome, Rome had macroeconomic data on the traffic, which I think was right around COVID or pre-COVID. So it didn't exactly have a good model for the intersection. So what we're doing now is actually importing data from floating car data to get the intensities on that intersection, and then supplementing it with the routes of pedestrians and bicyclists to get to the results. So we're making sure that we have multiple ways to actually get the simulation done properly.
In the SAFELIGHT project, when we designed the project, we thought that the main issue would be the presence of the lighting poles and the type of LEDs or lights that they had in the city, and how they were spreading this light. But during the project we have discovered that there are other things that are sometimes perturbing or changing the way these lights work. And for example, in one of the cities in Vitoria, we have seen that the vegetation is something that is very relevant. The responsibles in the cities, they are trying to have greener cities, including a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation, but sometimes this is a problem because they are covering the lighting poles that they have. No? So we have discovered this, and we didn't expect this before the project.
Yeah, it's interesting when we discovered even more use cases than you were expecting at the beginning. And also I was wondering if, besides the use cases that we are doing inside the project, is there, because we are working with data, and data is very useful to make any kind of decision, and we are using it here for safety, but sometimes it opens to other ideas. Is there any other use cases that you would like to explore, or that you have in mind with these ideas?
For us, it was one of the traffic engineering companies in the Netherlands where ROADSCOR was focused on looking at intersections where you think those are black spots already, so you want to improve the safety there and really do a deep dive. And one of the traffic engineering companies came to us and said, yeah, but we just do a couple of those projects per year. What if you have like an easier light version that when we design an intersection, we can already apply this? So call it a quick scan, if you will. And they say we design 200 intersections a year, but then it needs to be very affordable because the amount of money that we spend on one of those designs is very low. So we are now actively discussing with them, with other companies, whether or not a quick scan like that, which offers a fraction of the functionality that we have now, makes sense or not, and whether or not there's also a market for that. So it might be a nice added product to the line that we're already planning to develop. So it is another use case, but even slightly a different product.
In our case in Asimov, we decided some years ago that we have a long-term strategy to cover all these elements, all these assets that can have an influence in the road safety. Previously to the SAFELIGHT project, we had the traffic signs, road markings, condition of the pavement, safety barriers. Now with the SAFELIGHT, we have the lighting, but we know that then we have to work better the combination of this information, also with geometrical data and also with information from some floating car data. Because, for example, we are working with some vehicle manufacturers, with OEMs, like it's the case of Renault, and we know that we can help them also to improve the other systems that they have. And well, I think that with this combination of information, we can avoid a lot of accidents or situations that are risky in the cities. So we have to evolve to work with all this data together, not only one by one.
Great, thank you. And also I want to ask, because when we started with this project obviously is about to test the solutions on the city and provide some benefits, but we always think about the impact that these solutions and these projects are going to have in the cities and the citizens and all the ecosystem. So what is the impact that you expect from these projects in the medium term?
So ultimately, it should lead to, for ROADSCOR, it should lead to safer road designs that can be validated up front, right? Normally now, it is a traffic engineer that, based on expertise and experience, advises what they think is the most applicable design for that road. Then it gets installed, and then you need to wait a couple of months or even up to a year to validate whether or not the advice actually made the road safer or not. What we hope to do and what we hope to prove as part of the EIT project is that you can actually validate and calculate the savings that you're making in the number of crashes and injuries and fatalities up front, and therefore give more confidence to a decision maker to actually make the decision instead of waiting and evaluating whether or not the investment is worth the potential effect. So we're hoping to see, and I'm not sure if that's already the part, before the end of the year, that there's more confidence in making the solutions because it's data driven and it's not just the person's opinion or the person's expertise.
In the SAFELIGHT project, we think that the cities are transmitting us that they have two main objectives. The first one is to be more efficient in the way that they are giving the light and the visibility of the streets, and minimizing to zero the places with pedestrian crosses and other crosses that have bad visibility. This is something that, for that, we have to combine the data of visibility with the data that we obtain with related to road markings and other traffic signs. But this is something that they can do. And then, of course, the second objective, and probably the most important one, is to reduce to zero the fatalities in these places. This doesn't mean that they can avoid all the fatalities in all the places, but to minimize to zero in these kind of places. That are the places where you have the pedestrians and these kind of vulnerable users that are using the bicycle, the scooters, and this kind of things.
Thank you. I like to hear that it's not only about the project, the results of the project, but it has an impact that goes beyond the project, that helps cities to make informed decisions, because actually providing them with this type of data is not only to give them some tools that they can make a decision based on something concrete, like this data. So before we close the session, I want to open it to the audience in case someone wants to have any questions.
Project manager of Megabits, and Megabits is about applying smart solutions for cyclists. So can you both give an example where you really improve the safety of cyclists?
So one of the conflict scenarios that comes out of the intersection in North Brabant, and then we'll stay in the Netherlands in that way, is that the green time on the intersection is quite crucial. So what you see is that in some of the scenarios, the traffic or the cyclist is actually still busy crossing the intersection when the green is already given to the cars. And with electric cars nowadays, even CROW in the Netherlands adjusted their timings for the intersections. Because they accelerate so much quicker, you run into potential conflicts with a bicycle not having cleared the intersection yet, and the car already accelerating much faster than cars used to, and therefore ending up in a conflict. So that's a concrete example. The other case that we're doing is in Hasselt in Belgium. A little bit different in the sense that it's an unregulated intersection, and they expect an increase in the car traffic at that intersection, where it's already a, let's say, a point of attention in the network because there's a lot of pedestrians and cyclists. So once we dive into that case more deeply, I'm bound to see more examples of how it's improved for bicyclists as well.
In the case of our autonomous urban inspector, we already apply that on bike lanes. In the bike lanes, automatically we can obtain the information about the condition of the pavement, for example, to detect all kind of cracks, potholes, and avoid these incidences that they have in this way, and also to analyze the traffic signs and others. But in the SAFELIGHT project, we have included the problem in intersections, very similar in this case to them, but with another focus, that is that we can check that some meters before the intersection, in the intersection, and after the intersection, from the vehicles, from the cars, you have a good visibility of the people that is going to exit by bike in these places. So, well, you have these meters that you are covering, your side view is good related to them, and you can ensure that you have this situation. Okay.
Any other question? No? Then thank you all for participating. If you are interested in these projects, please follow online the EIT Urban Mobility Social Network, because we will be publishing the result of the project by the end of the year, and we will be publishing other activities related to road safety and other similar projects. Thank you all for coming, and we will be opening the next call for proposals by the end of June. Thank you very much.